flight control tutorial. Hello guys, it's your boy Tilt Matry here with the flight control tutorial. Now I'm gonna go over all of the combos that you need to know in my eyes to master flight control. Now the best way is you're gonna want to practice these combos, do duels, make sure you know them by heart. We're gonna go over different setups and teach you what exactly you want to do with certain setups. Anyway, to avoid myself from beating myself over and over again, if you like this and you want to see me climb into flight control, the COG Live, make sure you follow me on Twitch. My link will be in the description below. Also, subscribe to my YouTube, like, comment on this video if you want to see more. Comment also what you want to see. What would you like the next video upload to be? I do a lot of deck tutorials. I do a lot of COG Climb highlights. For example, I have a absolutely no money spent Ritual Beast video coming out. I'm going to go over that. Anyway, with that being said, let's get to the video. Alright, so in this case, I'm going to write down here, the first setup we're going to do this over here so that way this doesn't get in the way, is Striker into Catapult into Warwolf, and this is going to set up Quarion BRD turn 1, and you need to understand this, okay? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to activate Tanky. Tanky's going to search our Warwolf. Then we're going to be able to flight control. So I'm going to write down here. We're going to flight control. We're going to return. In this case, it doesn't matter any one of the Gear Zombie or Drill. I like to keep the Drill here. And we're going to add the Striker. Now, we're going to normal summon Catapult Dragon. And it's very important. Toggle has to be to auto or on at this point. Because if you don't have toggle to auto or on, it is not going to proc you to special summon the Warwolf. And this is very important. So we're going to special summon the Striker off the Catapult, because Catapult allows us to summon a level 2, a level 3 or lower Tech Genius Tuner. And then off the Striker, we'll toggle the auto or on, we're going to attempt to summon Warwolf. Now, with Striker and Warwolf on the field, we are going to not send it to the banish pile, but we are going to synchro summon into Tech Genis Star Guardian. On summon, Star Guardian adds back our Striker. Now, with Star Guardian's effect, we're going to special summon the Striker. And then we have a live Quarion, or Black Rose. How? Well, on our opponent's turn, Star Guardian, I'm going to write it as SG, equals 5. Plus 2 being Catapult equals BRD, or 5 plus 2 plus 2 into Quarion. Alright, so let's say we ended like this against Blue Eyes. We were going turn 1, right? So Blue Eyes makes their move. So, cards of consonants. Draws 2 cards. Then he goes, reveals, special summon. Now at this point, we're going to go into Quarion Gantrax. Now, something I need to point out. Very important. Black Rose has a when clause. When can miss the timing because it specifies an optional miss. If cannot miss timing. So what does that even mean? If means that you mandatorily get, not mandatorily, but you get the direct chance to activate your effect. You can't miss the timing. So, in this case, if he activates Alternative Dragon to pop a monster, you chain to go into BRD, you miss timing. And now, what is missing the timing despite that? How does that, what I say, relate to what's going on in the field? Well, what I mean is, if you're chain link 2 or higher, right? So let's say Black Rose Dragon were to be chain link 2, right? Alright, in this situation. If I can click, type it 2. You wouldn't be able to activate. I mean, not Black Rose, excuse me. Star Guardian was chain link 2, not Black Rose. If Star Guardian was chain link 2, right? Let's say he activated his alternative, right? And he would have popped your Guardian. You synchro, you make your Black Rose. Well, now, his alternative still has to resolve. Even though the target's not on the field to be destroyed, it still has to resolve its effect. And now, Black Rose now misses the window to activate, because its optional clause will not trigger. So that's very important. If you were to Black Rose, right, then you're probably going to ask me, well, when's the most useful time to Black Rose? The most useful time is when you are chain link 1. You want to chain link 1 your Star Guardian. So that way, after Star Guardian resolves its effect, you are able to Black Rose in a brand new chain. And that is very important. You want to be able to start the brand new chain. Very good. Anyway, in this case, we're going to query on anyway. We're going to query on by setting Catapult, Star Guardian, and our Striker to the grave, and we are going to bring out the query on in defense. Why defense? You're probably saying, Sean, does it even matter? Yes, because decks like Blue Eyes run Econ. You do not want to put it in attack mode for them to Econ take, and then potentially normal summon, potentially make a play like summoning Sage over Sage, or Saging over your Querion, getting rid of your Querion, summoning a Blue Eyes, or, well, they could do that anyway, but if they were to normal Sage and then Sage over the Sage, they could lethal you. Yes, technically you could Econ take at this point, and then Sage over your Querion into a Blue Eyes, but to avoid lethal, you don't want them Saging over an Ancients or whatnot and trying to kill you, or using Ancient rules with Econ to try to lethal you. So, summon in defense to play around Econ for the most part. Now we Querion, we're going to banish his Stone and his Ancients, and now he's left with a relatively weak hand. He sets, and we go. Alright, in this situation, we look for delays. You're always checking for delays. If in the draw phase you see no delay here, that means they do not have a Karma Cut. Alright, so I'm going to write this down. This is just general knowledge in general. Delays against Blue Eyes. Alright, so draw phase, no delay. Since we have a face-up monster on our side of the field, being Querion Gandrax, that means we know a few things. Can't be Book. Why can't it be Book? Because if it can't be Book, because you have a monster face-up on the field, so Book will not show a delay. Can't be Chalice, Canadia, Fiendish, or Karma. So these we know definitely. These I'm writing down because these are some of the most popular texts in all Duel Links. Alright? Alongside that, we now know it could be Prov and Flood, specifically. Those are the most common that you would see in Blue Eyes. Or just dead back row. And I'll even write Drowning down because Drowning is relevant now in Duel Links with all these Pendulum decks and Dynamis. People are starting to side and main Drowning respectively. Alright? So that could be a thing. Anyway. So at this point, how do we play around Prov? Now, let's say that he didn't draw into blue, well, in this case he didn't, but then he would use cut. Never mind. If he didn't, and we were trying to play around him having potential ancients, because we don't know. Technically, if we're playing the duel, we don't know that he drew into 2 blue eyes. We don't. He could have 2 prawns down there for all we know. Alright? So we'd flight control here. And we'd add back the serpent. Or a werewolf. Actually, a werewolf would be more practical to play around prov. And if we reprov, we just normal werewolf. And then we go to battle phase. And then we just swing for lethal. That's 4,200 on field. And that's death. So, very important. When you're dueling something like Blue Eyes, we want to make sure that we know exactly what they are trying to accomplish here. Alright? That's very important. We need to make sure that we know not what they're trying to accomplish, but what the back row is at that time. Okay? You need to understand how to read delays, and at that point, you're able to execute a game plan that just beats Blue Eyes. Now, if they go first, if you go first, you set up, and they set a ton of back row, and they don't know how to bait the battle phase, which we're about to talk about in a second, then in that particular case, then yeah, then you want a black rose to get rid of their back row. So, the choice to go black rose or Quarion totally depends on how they're going to set you up. That's where it kind of comes into, okay, well, I need to know situationally what I am trying to do in that spot. Okay, anyway, next thing I want to talk about is baiting the battle phase. Baiting the battle phase, alright, comes into fruition where, and let me get back to where we were before. So I'm going to return these cards to his hand, alright, I'm going to give him back his old setup here. And I'm going to get us back to our old setup. Actually, this should be on the field. Take this back. And we'll add back what we had previous in the hand, which I think was the catapult. Get another catapult. Doesn't really matter. Alright, I'm going to get us back to that point where we were before. Alright. So this is how he started off. Okay. Right? He drew like this. And then 1 second. I'm going to get him back the hand that he had before. Okay. Right? So if he was smart here, right? I mean, he really can't do it here, but what he could do is he could summon all, reveal. Even at this point, he really can't bait because you're going to query on here anyway. But let's say, for argument's sake, right? He had another Karma Cut. Right? He would go alt and then bait the battle. I mean, you're going to query on here regardless, but if you had like an alt or an Ancients, if you had like an Ancients here, it'd be more relevant. You know, because he wouldn't set the back row. Actually, he would just alt first. You know, he would alt pop here anyway, so it really wouldn't be relevant. He could force the Guardian. A better example would be if he had something like this. Let me show you. Pretend that this card's a consonant is in Ancient Rules. Pretend this is an Ancient Rules, right? So if you went Ancient Rules, summon the Blue Eyes, and then at that point, he would go battle phase and try to bait you out. Now, what do I mean by overall by this? I know this kind of got a little bit confusing, but I'm going to explain what I mean right now to unconfuse you. Alright? Baiting the battle phase means committing a limited amount of resources to your side of the field and threatening the battle enough for your opponent to think about interrupting you at that point, and then having a substantial follow-up to be able to get past whatever you did. Alright? So in this case, alright, against TGs, you would think about going Quarion here, right? To banish his ancients. But you would, at that point, after you Quarion, he would set both of his back row and still have follow-up. However, in a case where you, they don't bait the battle phase, right? So you would say, well, what would be the incorrect play if that's the correct play? The incorrect play would be him just setting all of his back row. Then at that point, if he just does this, right, then you could just black rows. So if he just recklessly sets back row, then you have the opportunity to black rows because he didn't bait the battle phase. When is the appropriate time to go into black rows, though? When you don't think that they can activate an effect to start a chain to make you miss the timing, or in a case that they're just going to wait until, generally, unless you think that they're going to start a chain and you're going to be forced to miss the timing, wait until you get to the end of the main phase. Then you want to go into black rows. Okay? Give them an opportunity to make a misplay. Most players on the ladder are going to misplay in that situation more than not. Okay? So that is baiting the battle phase. Alright, so anyway, next setup is BRD Striker, Serpent. Striker, Warwolf, Catapult. Now, I'm going to reset. Do we have a reset? Yes. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to remodify the hand here. This is not me using the skill. I'm just trying to get the setup that we need. I'm showing off the combos. Alright? So now, in this case, again, us going first. I'm going to do the same thing. Toggle has to be auto or on. Alright? We're going to go Catapult, Special Striker, into Warwolf, and then we're going to Synchro into the Guardian. Always in defense. And then Special the Striker after adding it to our hand. And now it's his turn. This is a great example too. Right here. Him having a hand like this, right? So he sets 2. And then he goes to battle phase, right? Maybe he's smart, keeps the card in hand. Alright, battle phase, right? End of the main phase. Right at the end of the main phase, we Synchro. We bring out the Black Rose, and then Black Rose nukes the field. Okay? Sets passes. Now, in the end phase, because we went for the Black Rose play, and this is a huge advantage to why you want to go to the Black Rose play, is we get the Striker Search. And we can pick up Screw Serpent. Why do we want Serpent? Because Serpent's our best play starter here. And it can lead to OTKs. Now we draw. Alright. Cycle in the back row. Now we can Flight Control. Now there's a few ways we can OTK here. We can either OTK by searching Striker. We can OTK by searching Warwolf. And we can also OTK by searching Gear Zombie and or any of our level 1s. That being Booster Raptor or Gear Zombie. I'm going to show you how you OTK with all of them. Watch. This is how you do it with Warwolf. You ready? We're going to add the Warwolf here. We're going to summon Screw Serpent. We're going to special the Striker. We'll toggle the order or on. Whenever you want to summon Warwolf, has to be the order or on. We're going to go in the Warwolf. Then we're going to synchro these two off, the Striker and the Warwolf, to make any of our level 7s, that being Squire or Meteor Burst. Then we're going to be able to... Where's my Screw Serpent? Oh, I put it in the banish. Then we're going to be able to use Screw Serpent's effect. We're going to banish it to increase the level of a TG monster we have by 1. We're not going to decrease because that would be absolutely pointless here. I mean, decrease. Yeah, we don't increase, we decrease. Let me write that in the chat so we don't confuse people. We don't increase, we decrease. So we're going to decrease it by 1, making our Striker, a level 1 tuner. And then we're going to synchro these two off. If he has a monster at that point, you can opt to pop with Squire by banishing your Star Guardian. You can also, if they have another Black Rose set, banish the Black Rose, because we Black Rose first. And because it's a fire synchro, you will be able to pop a back row and a monster. Now, the thing you need to understand is Squire Saga pops in sequence. It doesn't destroy at the same time. So, at first, it will destroy a spell first, spell trap, then pop a monster after it pops the spell or trap. So that's something you may want to understand and know. Anyway, we are going to decrease the level of Striker by 1 to make it a level 1 tuner. And then Squire Saga plus 1 will give you Hama. 7 plus 1 is 8. And because Hama used the Synchro Monster's material, he attacked twice. That is 5,600 damage, and he is dead. And that is how we kill. Now, that is two of our turn 1 fields. Now, I got one more to show you. And that is going into your... Now, this takes a little bit more cards to make. This takes, in particular, 3-card combo to make, but at the same time, so does the other combo. This is Screw plus Warwolf plus Gear Zombie. Actually, no, it takes 4 cards. That's right. It takes 4 cards unless we open Raptor. We need our level 1, technically, so we can't make this play here. Yeah, so we can't make this play unless I shuffle this in. So we need 3 cards, but we need any of our level 1s in the hand to accommodate this. And we did not. So I'm going to get one of our level 1s here. We're going to give ourselves the Raptor, and I'm going to show you how to make this play. Alright? Going turn 1, so we're going to have to trade something off. Alright, so with this hand, this is called Screw plus Raptor. Screw plus, not Raptor, Gear Zombie plus Warwolf into Quarion. Alright, so we're going to normal summon Screw. We're going to go Raptor. We're going to Synchro into Star Guardian. Now we're going to use Star Guardian to add back the Raptor or Screw Serpent. In this case, we're going to choose Screw Serpent because this puts it back in the deck and gives us another resource. Then we're going to shuffle that back. We're going to add to our hand Gear Zombie, Star Guardian specials Gear Zombie, and then we can special the Warwolf. We're toggle the order on, and then we have 2 tuners, 5 plus 1, then being the Star Guardian into Gear Zombie, and your 3 into Quarion. And that is your perfect setup. Now he goes. Because he's a brainless Blue Eyes player, he's going to do this. Try to get text, try to play it out of it. He knows you can't Black Rose, but he just tossed all of his tuners in the graveyard. Or maybe he's a bit smarter and keeps the Ancients. So he just tops Constant, this one, adds the other Blue Eyes. And now, we go into main phase, into Quarion, in defense, banish 1, banish 2, now he has no Ancients, and we go. We look for delays, and we see, by looking at delays, we don't see a delay in the draw phase, so we know he has double prov, and we shuffle. He had a Wolf. We can Cosmic if we want to, get rid of one of the back row. And then we just normal summon, and that's game. Very good. So that's how we do that with that query on setup. Now, the next thing I want to show off is the turn 2 plays. And these plays will abuse Odd Eye's Media Burst a lot. Keep in mind, Media Burst is very, very good. I also have to show you a few other setups that I didn't show you, but these will come in clutch here that I wanted to show earlier, but I forgot. Alright, let's say we go turn 2 with this, right? He's got back row, and he passes. Watch. Cyclone, banish. Now, in this case, keep in mind, in this case, he did not, and this is what a smart player will do. Alright? This is an OTK with Striker plus optioned Serpent, Catapult plus Werewolf. Alright? Now, the reason why I write optioned is because you need to be wary about searching Serpent or Catapult. Now, a smart player, when they go up against TG, are not going to set any monsters. The reason why is if they don't set any monsters, then you can't summon Striker. Alright? So, they know it's going to be a little bit harder for you to OTK. So, in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to activate Tenki. We're going to search a Werewolf. Then, we're going to activate Flight Control and shuffle in one of our Werewolves to get a Catapult. Now, the only reason why you want to keep double Werewolf is double Werewolf, and the back row really wouldn't be relevant here, but double Werewolf, and they would have a monster on the field, so you'd be able to search Serpent in this case, but double Werewolf is great to play around Bouncer. Alright, that's very important. Now, in this case, what you're going to want to do, given that he summoned no monsters, literally summon Catapult into Screw, into Werewolf, into making the Star Guardian, and now Star Guardian can add back our Werewolf, and now at this point, we could just make Hama, and that's a great way to go for lethal in a case like that. That's a very good way. Now, another thing to note here, and this is something that is relevant in a case like this, is if they were playing, if you were playing Rhino, you could go for a Meteor Burst lethal play here. That is something you want to take into account, okay? Is that you would have a Meteor Burst lethal line, but we don't as of now. A, because we can't search. Also, if we have Serpent, well, no, Serpent wouldn't do it. You would have to have a Rhino. A Rhino would give you that lethal line, because otherwise we'd be 100 off with Werewolf. Actually, forgive me, 200 off, because he'd be at 13. So, anyway, in this particular case, we'd be able to special summon, and then we can make our Hama. And then we could just swing, double swing for lethal. Very good. Alright, now again, another turn 2 play. Now let's say they set a monster this time, right? He's not smart. We're just OTKing through a set monster. This is the nuts. This is the absolute nuts here. And I'm going to show you this. This is Striker plus Werewolf plus Catapult plus... Actually, I'll show you Serpent, and then we'll get back to adding in the Catapult. But in this case, we can do a lot more. We're going to go Tenki, pick up a Werewolf, activate Flight Control, shuffle one of them in. We don't have to worry about a bouncer, so we're going to pick up a Serpent. We're going to go Special Striker into Special Werewolf, and then we're going to sync them off into Star Guardian. Now, because we have this in the graveyard, we can make a werewolf here. We don't have to worry about popping any monster. We're going to just go into Hama. This will play past any hand trap. Then we normal summon. And then we can synchro off the screw and the werewolf into a meteor burst. And then at this point, you just kill him. This gives you Hama plus meteor burst and a very, very good field. This can OTK through Roar and Lupine in attack mode as well. But this can also do a ton of damage and says screw to any hand traps that they want to do. So we're going to go to battle phase. We're going to attack. No effect. Double Hama swing. That is 56. And he's dead. Very good. Now, let's say we put him back. Right? He goes back up to 4,000. And we have the full setup. Right? Well, I'm going to give you a funsy that you can do. If you use the whole setup of Striker, Werewolf, Catapult, and so let's say instead we have Striker, Serpent, Werewolf, and Catapult. Right? Now here's what we can do. Watch this. Special Striker, Special Werewolf, Go Guardian. This is totally unnecessary, but it could do the same. It could really be just fun to pull off. You go Catapult in a Striker. And now we go Quarion, Banish. If there's something you really want to banish. This is good to play around Sassy Rookie. So if you're going up against Abyss Actor, this can be relevant. Because you really don't want... Because the thing is that Meteor Burst won't stop Rookie. He'll still be able to be protected. Because it doesn't activate. So this could be a relevant setup that you want to make against Abyss Actor. Then we synchro these. We make Meteor Burst because they can technically play Kite. So we want to deal with that. And then this OTKs through Abyss Actor. That leads into Quarion plus Meteor Burst. And that is easy OTK. And then you also have Cosmic to deal with the back row. So easy God Hand turn 2 TG OTK. Alright. Now, I'm going to show you a few samples of what we can do if we have Serpent here with a Werewolf in the graveyard and just how to get big damage on the field. So in this case, right, this is just one card Serpent after you Black Rose. So after BRD, different Serpent setups. Now, the reason why, you may say, well, what's the point? I'll just go with the simplest one in OTK. But no, it's not that simple because you could save flight control if they have hand traps in any particular situation. You'd be able to save your skill. So what we'd be able to do here is they wouldn't have a monster, so Striker really wouldn't pan out. They're not going to have a monster hit you Black Rose, so we'd have to flight control. But if we have Gear Zombie in the hand, this is what we can do. We can go Striker, Screw Serpent, Werewolf, activate Gear Zombie, reduce either Screw Serpent or Werewolf by 1,000, synchro up, bring out the any level 7, particularly the Squire here, and then go in the Hama for lethal. That's one route. Another route we can do is, we'll just put this back in the hand, and we'll go back to the Striker again, is we can add a 1. Right? Well, actually, technically, we'd have a Striker in the grave, too. Because after the BRD you play, you're going to have that. So we can add a 1. So if we have a 1, we can go Screw Serpent, revive back Werewolf, special summon, go synchro off with the Drillfish, and not only have Hama, but go into Star Guardian, add back the Serpent, and then boom, you have Hama plus a follow-up Serpent in the hand. So that's a really good way. Another way you could do it is with us having the Striker in the grave, right? Right? Is Warwolf. We can go Striker, special the Warwolf, synchro into the 7 again, reduce, make the Hama. Oh, not that. Not that either. And then double swing. So that's a few ways. So I'm going to write these down for you. Screw Gear Zombie is Hama. Screw. These are all after Black Rose. Screw plus any level 1 is Screw follow-up, except for Gear Zombie. That's not quite true. I should write non-tuner. Into Hama. And Screw plus Warwolf is Hama. So you may not need to flight control. That's why you want to search Serpent. Always search the Serpent first. Because if you search the Serpent first, you're going to be in a lot of situations where you're just going to be able to have the combo that you need without having the flight control, and then you're just burning a search for no reason. When you can just be playing through multiple different things. Now, I'm going to show you how to make a Black Rose setup with very little economy, having a level 1. Alright? So in this case, we opened up Catapult, right? But what if we didn't open up Warwolf? What if we opened up a Cosmic? And this was our turn 1 hand, right? Can we make a Black Rose here? And the answer is yes. Yes, we can. Okay, so this is Black Rose Dragon on poor hand economy. And the way you want to do it is BRD equals Serpent plus Fish plus Raptor or Raptor, I should say, plus Catapult. So, what do we do here? We go Flight Control, we add back Raptor, could be Drillfish too, doesn't matter. Normal Summon, Special, unless they have a Floodgate. It's like you're doing it, well, you wouldn't be doing this as much mid-game, but if they have a Floodgate and one of your monsters are Floodgated, you get Raptor, because if you don't get Raptor, what they can do is, in a case like that, you can't summon Fish because you have a Floodgated monster, all your monsters are not GGs. So keep that in mind. Right, we synchro this off, we go in the Guardian adds back the Screw Serpent, and then we special the Catapult. And we have Screw in the hand for the follow-up with a Cosmic, and we can Black Rose here. And then we, like I said, if we top deck into any of our combo pieces, we're still lethaling. So at that point, right, we'll play this one out. He goes Ancients, discard Sage, brings out the Blue Eyes, sets a Prov, alright, goes to battle. At the end of the main phase, we go Black Rose, 5+2. And now he goes to end phase, Ancients triggers, and then we go. Okay, now we do have the flight control here, but to any combo piece. So ideally, if we force the flight control, let's get Drillfish. Unless we specifically have that in the Roach or something, then it won't be as relevant. Actually, no. No, we don't want to get Drillfish here. Excuse me. I forgot we didn't go into the ideal Black Rose, so ignore that. In this case, we are going to go Gear Zombie. So, in this case, it's going to be a weird OTK. You ready? So what's going to happen is Screw Serpent's going to revive back the Raptor. we're going to synchro into Star Guardian. Star Guardian is going to add back. Now, this is your OTK after this. Unoptimal Black Rose. So, in this case, you search the other level 1. So, either that would be Drillfish or Raptor. So, after we do that, we're going to add back Catapult. Catapult's going to summon. Then we can Catapult summon Gear Zombie. And then after that, we use these two. We go into Squire. Squire banishes. If they have another back row you want to hit, you can do that as well. Doesn't really matter. And then we synchro into Hama. And bing bang, that's game. And that's just GG. Very nice. And that clears past the blue eyes. Okay. That is our TG combo video. If you did enjoy this, these teach you all the combos. If you want to see me play this live, make sure you are followed to me on Twitch. I am trying to plan out a TG Flight Control card climb. So make sure you are followed to me on Twitch. Join the Discord. That's much, much appreciated as well. Join the Discord once you're on the Twitch. It's easier. My Twitch link will be in the description below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Much appreciated. My name is Sean Matry. And this is Tilt Matry, aka Sean Matry, signing out.